Ladies and gentlemen, and I'm still a student. I'm pursuing my PhD in this topic, intellectual property protection for text and data mining. And then I appreciate the Dhruv and my friend Lakshita for excellent presentation. And Pravinji, you should be proud of your son. The voice, style, and everything, you are copyright. Well, you influence many people, so I'm also indirectly a student of yours, including Gopal Krishnan, professor, who think. Yeah, it was the days, a few days, I think a week or 2 days after the Marrakesh Treaty happened. I was chief negotiator for India from the Marrakesh, Morocco. After concluding the treaty successfully and avoiding the commercial availability and the celebrations when Stevie Wonder came and then entertained us, at the time also didn't occur to me that what we missed out. And they came back to India, my American colleague in the negotiations. He calls me, Raghavender, what you have done amendments for the Copyright Act in 2012. What exceptions you have given for text and data mining? I was shocked, a little ashamed and worried. There's nothing we did in 2012. We missed the bus. Yeah, but there are only general exceptions. As my friend Lakshika and Dhruv covered about various things happening, we are driven by this most disruptive, innovative technologies of artificial learning and big data. The fourth industrial revolution is being talked about, Industry 4.0 everywhere in this event. Right from the beginning to the end, people are talking about. It is everything data. Earlier, machine-to-machine production was there, the man-to-machine production happening. IoT is coming and Internet of everything is coming. More data is being developed and many examples have been given by colleagues about the way you use your mobile phone, everything. My family and my friends don't know, even though so close to me, my likes and dislikes, Facebook knows. Based on that, it keeps sending me the ads, my interests. Everything they know about me, because people talk about privacy, people criticize Aadhaar, people don't know that the moment they have a Facebook account or using Google, unknowingly they know their privacy is gone. So data, it is the data which is creating this magic. So what is this data and data protection, everything? This is nothing new. So we have transformed from various traditional data bases which were created in 1916s. Now we have moved to advanced data bases, data analytics. Now everything is driven by artificial learning. So the data analytics and databases, data mining, and text mining is a part of that. And web usage mining, the web mining, everything inextricably interlinked with the artificial intelligence. So as my friends have said, so the data is not protected, data per se. It is the databases. It is a literary work as per the definition of the Berne Convention, which is given in the Article 2, which we define it as a literary work in the Copyright Act. But interestingly, it is a multidisciplinary topic. It includes AI, it includes every aspect of the new technologies, and then sciences. It is covered in various sectors. Each and every sector, it is using the big data, and various examples are given from the medical sector and various industry sectors. Now, how this happens? As a student, when I was, researching into that, so various text and data mining analytic models are there, right from identification of data, extracting the data, and clustering the data, and classifying the data, and then retrieving the information as per your thing. Everything is done automatically by natural process learning algorithm, which is an AI algorithm. So natural process learning and big data analytics, it works. It is the heart and soul of entire big data analytics. Of course, the machine learning algorithms which automatically does many activities, data analytics, and also the deep learning, which takes into the more specific kind of data analytics. Considering the importance of data mining, text mining, and then algorithms of the AI, one day I spoiled the ears of my boss. In the e-courts project, we developed National Judicial Data Grid, which has more than 10 crore cases and 8 crore judgments available, both criminal and civil cases. The latest data, if you have gone through the NJDG website, it gives about nearly 3 crore cases pending out of these 2 crore or 2.4 crore criminal cases pending. Rest are civil cases pending. I didn't stop there because I'm driving the enforcing contract parameter in ease of doing business. We are setting up the commercial courts of the amendment of the commercial code of 2018. Special commercial courts will be set up in Delhi. The notification will be issued in a couple of days. Mumbai has already issued notification. 16 courts out of 60 Mumbai city civil courts they have done. Here, I want to give commercial dispute definition in the commercial courts is very open-ended and vast. It includes intellectual property. So you can see how many cases are pending, what are the things delaying it. Is this the case management system is delaying, court management system is delaying, a service summons is delaying. We are actively, vigorously taking steps. Honorable Deepak Mishra, the last CJ has announced this. He inaugurated the web portal, launched web portal for the e-filing, web portal for the N-step, that is service summons, and another portal for the e-payment. So these things we have to implement. Now portals are ready, softwares are ready, and things. So if we use data mining algorithms, we can go one step further. Luckily, Honorable Justice Madan Lokur heard and recognized the importance. He called a brainstorming session in our office, Department of Justice in Jaisalmer House last year. We called the data scientists, the IIT professor who were going deep into that, like IIT Madras and IIT Delhi, IIT Kharagpur, Indian Institute of Science, Bengaluru, and then few startups who are doing this, data analytics using artificial intelligence. And then we called all of them, and then we had a brainstorming how to use this, the analyzing the data, and they give more things. The first step you see, the few months back, how NJDG used to approach, too much captcha feeding. Now the less captcha feeding, the more analytics are available. It has a dashboard which gives, the moment you open, you get a dashboard. Earlier, first you have to put captcha, then only the information is to come. So now the phase 2 is there, then more phases, the more data analytics comes. So even legal field, we are using this. Then comes the importance of artificial intelligence. Here, the techniques we are using, AI, it is going to give, descriptive analysis, it explains. As a researcher, I used to do a Boolean search, put a word in inverted commas and search in the Google. And now we are, we are going step forward. Text mining happens, text analytics happens, you get entire information. For example, you type their basic structure of the Constitution. So you need not go, then Google gives you 110 documents, 2000 PDF, few books freely available. But you need to read all these things and you yourself have to pick out. Even you go to Manupatra or Indian Kanun everywhere, then you have to read and then find out in which case basics, right from the Keshwananda Bharati to the later stages, basic structure where it is explained. No, you need not do. This will take out the information and give you, it goes into, creates the patterns, it creates the trends, it correlates the information, and then comes out with the gist. So doing so, immediately copyright comes. So is it infringing the copyright, collecting the information without permission, without license? How much extent this is allowed? So this is the big problem. This is what my American colleague answered me. Now I said there are general provisions available. It takes care. What are these general provisions? Private copying provision. In Amendment 2002, we said personal copying. We added it, deliberate, because there is a difference between personal copying and private copying. And then few stakeholders said that it may create problems. Okay, we'll put it. And then we have re-engineering provision already, computer program. And then we have research and study, private research and research provision. Educational exception, which has been beautifully, I was discussing with my friends about how Judge Raghavender gave, the meaning of in the course of instruction and research, how it, when it starts, when it ends. It won't end in the classroom. No, it won't end at the particular period, even the research exceptions and all that. So are these general provisions are suffice? You need a special provision, or you need a sui generis law for this. EU made a big mistake. When the WTO negotiations were being finalized, few countries, US, Japan, and EU countries raised the issue of inclusion of internet elements in the TRIPS agreement. Then many countries jumped, and then you took 15 years to finalizing this, coming to the Marrakesh Treaty. At the end of introducing these internet issues, no, we can't delay further. Then let WIPO discuss. Then WIPO took it, and then it called Diplomatic Conference of WIPO Copyright Treaty, extending the Berne Convention to the internet environment, and the audiovisual performances, phonograms and performance and phonograms. The third treaty, without discussing there with the member countries, and without getting the access, because in WIPO we always move as a consensus. Sui generis protection for databases was being put on our head. It is a non-original copyright protection. And India, led by India, many countries said, don't kill the copyright. Copyright originality, as the Dhruv said about, the sweat and bro to the minimum degree of creativity introduced by the fierce publication case and the CCH Canada case, the modicum of creativity, and how Supreme Court adapted in, DB Modap case. And, all these things are happening. We can't give copyright protection because you invested some money in the database creation. Because of that was removed. But still question, it came, used to come back when the technology grew, disruptive technologies came, AI importance grew, so what kind of protection to be given? But I always say and then said to my American colleague, so WCT still protects. Okay? We need not go for a sui generis treaty, because if you look at the exceptions extended from the Berne three-step test provided in 9.2, Article 9.2, which was first time three-step test was introduced, the Stockholm revision of 1967, where certain special cases which does not conflict with the commercial exploitation, which does not disturb which is not prejudicial to the rights of the author, which took a different form from reproduction right to all the commercial right in the TRIPS. The same form was adopted in the Article 10. But adopting in the Article 10, we introduced, a small, agreed statements. The first time the WIPO, the use of agreed statement in WCT, WPPT increased, And then just for the information of many gathered here, agreed statement is nothing but explanation. In the Bare Act we have explanation. Something you cannot include in the main article, that explanation is included in the below. The footnote is called agreed statement, where member countries agree, okay, this should be interpreted in such a way and this should be extended, the scope of the article should be. So if you look at the Vienna Convention of Law of Treaties 1967, section 31, paragraph 1a, to whatever agreed statement have the equal legal value of with the main article. So main article has to be read with the agreed statement, both have the legal basis, the similar legal basis. You can't just simply throw out this just like obiter dicta and equivalent to obiter dicta. It doesn't have any legal value. It does have a legal value. Then comes the importance of exceptions and limitation provided by various countries. How this text data mining has been provided. Dhruv raised an important issue. Who is the author and then deep learning doing the predictive analysis, prescriptive analysis, and then machine learning doing the description analysis and all that. So you write a software, you write an algorithm. This is a computer generated thing you are doing. And then it is going step further without your intervention. It is thinking and creating patterns and then doing clustering, coming out information, giving you abstracts. And where you just pick up and give the citation and complete your PhD thesis. This is going to happen. Instead of 5 years part-time, I'm doing PhD thesis. I'll be completing it in 5 months if all these technologies are made available. So everything will be available on my desktop. So is this going to create big problem? What are the problems publishers have, various stakeholders have? So this has been addressed by US. Simply, they have a doctrine called fair use doctrine. And another 4-factor test is already mentioned. I don't want to go into 4-factor test. They said that whatever falls within this 4-factor test and the fair use, it is not an infringement and copyright, then there is no need to take any license or give any license. It goes beyond, and then some commercial exploitation have that line is crossed, then you have to take license. Then what France has done? It says it has limited the exceptions. It says these organizations only can get text data mining exception and these cannot. So the question came commercial research and non-commercial research. What I am doing, I say my PhD is a non-commercial research. Do you force me to take a license when I am doing text data mining for my research purposes? Or my library is making that facility available and then gives me all the information? That is the question. Then I'm going to commercialize everything, the data, so commercial purposes, increase my customer base, the entire customer data, I'll do that, and then and based on the customer's behavior, I'm going to sell my products, promote my products, and increase my territorial distribution of my products based on their likes and dislikes and taste and everything. This is a different commercial research. So is there any exception to be given that? And what extent to be given? That is the big issue. The various countries are addressing this issue in a different thing. So I digress from the issue of authorship. So when if you look at the section 2, the definitions A6, which says the person behind the computers creating a computer generated is the author. And even though you are using a data mining which is run by the whether machine learning or deep learning or natural language processing, and the next step neural network, where thinking computer, thinking part, it thinks and then writes. Then my friends in IIT, when I was interacting with them, the Raghavender ji, copyright protects expression. So this is the expression of a computer which using neural networks, deep learning and all that. Copyright आपको कैसे मिलेगा? Then I said, no, please don't introduce the concept of anthropomorphism. Okay, don't make that computer or algorithm a human. Who created it? The basic algorithm or software written by a computer data scientist. Because of that, it starts thinking. Because of neural networks or deep learning or whatever the kind of algorithm is there. But basic algorithm. Okay. So, I've been given birth by my father, a civil servant. Then I wanted to become a civil servant. This is my thought. He never forced me to become a civil servant. Then I became. So this is my thought process and all that. But still, मैं Rama Rao ji की बेटा राघवेंद्र ही कहलाऊंगा ना. So this is what I'm standing, and then I don't think I will go back from this. Many people call me a very conservative copyright person. I am happy with that, but I don't want a copyright ownership to be given to an algorithm or a machine. You can have many business models and collaborative things and various things to be given. You come out with a model and do that. Okay, but a joint authorship like kind of thing, collaborative thing, but don't give copyright ownership or authorship to that, to a machine or an algorithm or a software. Then come to France has given, like the UK in 2009, when we introduced exception limitation for not only on the human rights angle for the blind and visually impaired, which ultimately we had a Marrakesh Treaty, there were library exceptions and educational research exceptions, because there was a lack of harmonization the way various countries do that. And also, similarly, the Marrakesh Treaty, what we address, not only the commercial availability, text data mating, you have a lot of cross-border things happen. I'm just concluding. And this has to be addressed. And that's what happening in WIPO. And then coming to EU. EU has introduced a new directive, the digital directive for the European single market. And the Article 3 talks about the new exception for text data mining. What they have done, they have addressed the difficulties in the fair use model and fair dealing model of the UK and fair use of America. And then they came out with, normally they call it copyright exceptions. When we try to introduce the words fair dealing, fair use in the Marrakesh Treaty, they fought. 1 week we fought, and then finally we convinced them, please introduce it. They didn't want these things to come in an international treaty. We successfully did it. Then here, they're introducing the similar thing, they are dividing the commercial and non-commercial specifically. Commercial, you have to take license. Non-commercial, you don't need. Non-commercial, which organization? They are excluded libraries. So funny. If library is excluded means, while doing a research, I have to take a license. Text data mining. Okay, I'm subscribing, let us say, I'm going to one of my articles on moral rights going to get published, which I converted from the Kopinger's work on Chopra had written, that converting. So I written my agreement yesterday only. So it is going to be published in JIPR. So they give me a subscription of that thing. I'm getting a journal. So I should be allowed to do the text mine that and get the data from the further research. Okay. They said, no, you subscribed for only the viewing and reading, you can't text mine it. Even for the non-commercial purposes, this is the issue the librarians and researchers are facing. And then coming to startups, we have to promote business, we have to promote employment, we have to promote economic growth. if startups and small businesses are not allowed to do this text data mining and then grow and introduce few new disruptive business practices, it will be very difficult. Technologically, financially, and commercially, in various sectors, they're going to contribute these startups. This is not going to happen unless until you give these kind of exceptions. One more problem is, whatever exceptions you give contractually, these are overridden. Whether this thing has to be taken there or not. And one more problem is digital rights management. These technologically protection measures. If these things are put, you can't do the text mining. So Indian exception says, if you don't say 65A and 65B and the corresponding rules in the rules, we allow breaking those locks and use for these purposes, which US initially criticized. Now they realize the mistake, what they did, the good thing we have done. And in the recent, really, they have decided to introduce these things to DMCA. So these are the big problems are coming. So text data mining obviously is a disruptive thing which is run basically by artificial intelligence. And then there is no international law in this. We need a international, at least level, some discussion has to happen and the agenda has to be finalized. Till then, the best of the best methods, exceptions should allow not only the public interest research, also the commercial research for the purposes of access to knowledge and also economic growth and employment. That's what I think as a policy member. And thank you. I would like to thank Agarwalji for inviting me and giving me this opportunity. And thank the chair of this panel and my colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Raghavender, for such